Hey YouTubers, I'm a fairly new pilot. If you've seen any of my videos, you probably didn't have to wait for me to tell you that, but been flying my new Pavo Pico quite a bit. Here's what it looks like, and a few things. One, appreciate all the help I got from some friends who saw my video, and someone commented on my video. Thanks for that. That got me over the mode settings problem I was having. And now I have another issue I want to bring up. I'm not sure if anyone else has noticed it, but the voltage, if you look on my video, the voltage of the batteries always stays the same. Never changes. It makes it kind of hard to decide, other than the timer, when you should come back and land. So I'm not going to be going on any long distance excursions with this little thing. Another thing, I'm going to show some pictures probably. I haven't decided exactly how I want to do it yet, but there are these wires that go from the flight controller to the motors, and they continue to get stuck in the in the propellers after a crash. So I'm either going to use a tiny little tie wrap or maybe some fabric tape and see if I can get that fixed. But anyway, one thing that I'm very impressed with this little drone is how crash resistant it is. So here's some video showing me running around with it on my street, and there might be a crash or two. You might wonder what I'm doing here. I'm trying to get my, nope, not that. I'm trying to get my, what are they called? Trims. I'm trying to get my trim set because I want it, that's why I have my goggles off. So one thing you want to do with the drone is like take your goggles off, set it down, and there's the little up and down, left and right trim tabs to the side of your sticks, and you don't need your goggles on to do this. Actually, I think it's easier without them, but you just want to get it to where you can hover. So this one is kind of crazy with the throttle. We seem to always have to need throttle input to keep it hovering, but what I'm trying to do is just get it so that it doesn't, by default, go to the left, go to the right. It just stays kind of in one spot. Now it's kind of windy, and this little dude is like 100 grams, so it's hard to do this in any kind of wind. I usually do it inside the house, even with I even did my 7.5-inch drone in my basement. So you just try to figure it out till you get to a spot where it doesn't just kind of, as soon as you take off, start going in a direction because the trim isn't right. The other thing is there's so many things that can change the trim on such a light drone like this. I mean, you're not putting the battery in exactly where you want, or exactly in the same exact spot every time. I'm using 3 different brands of batteries. Some of them are 450, some are 500, and so some are a little bit wider than the others. The battery holder on the bottom of the Pavo Pico is made out of plastic, and it's just kind of a cinch around the 450s that there's one that comes with it and it fits perfectly. But anything other than that one, you're pretty much going to have to figure out something else. And what I figured out is I just took a cutoff wheel on my Dremel and cut it right down the middle so that it now has two flexible sides to hold any size battery in. I mean, any 2-cell series, like 400, 450, somewhere around there, 500. So that's basically what I did to change that. And man, you lose altitude so quick when this thing turns. For everyone wanting to know, what does it do when you try to take off when the battery's been ejected? That's what happens right there. There you go. Now you don't have to do it like I did. I might make a suggestion. Fly on grass. All these crashes are on concrete. It's handling it spectacularly. Just so you know, every now and then I do have to pull the motor wires out of the I keep wanting to call them fans, out of the propellers, and try to shove them up into one of the gaps on the frame. But like I said earlier, I'm gonna figure out, either I want to use some small tie straps, zip ties, or some fabric tape that I have that I use on my bigger drones. Just not sure. Oops. Gonna take a little walk to the neighbor's pine tree. I'm gonna speed this up. So one thing I do want to mention is, even though the battery shows 4.06 volts like the entire time, this whole thing that you're seeing here, this entire time that it's plugged in, all of it is on 2 batteries. I think they're 500 milliamp hour, but like 450, 500, it really doesn't matter that much that I found. Anyway, I'm just going in here to make sure that I don't have any settings that I should be worried about. Not much you can do unless you have an O3 air unit, so you're kind of stuck with what you see. Let's see, how much longer do we have? So I've got a few more minutes of this video. Anybody want to take a bet on if I crash at the end of this flight? I don't even remember. Let's see what happens. So I'm getting better, but I used to be really bad at flying in my prop wash. So make sure you tilt in a direction and throttle to get out when you're sinking, so you're not trying to push prop wash through it. It's very noticeable. Oh, almost got close. Really want to get to where I can do some power loops and do some fun tricks on here, but right now I'm just really getting the feel for the stick. So this is the thing you don't see. There it is. Yeah, the thing you don't see on these pros and everything is just the amount of hours that people have to put into stick time. If you're still watching, really appreciate it if you could click the like and subscribe. I'd appreciate it. You know, maybe one of these days I'll have enough subscribers that I can actually, you know, retire or something. That would be nice. But now, just, you know, I figured there's other people like me going through this, and you don't. I haven't seen those videos. They're probably out there. Um, One way to get them more visible is to like and subscribe and comment, because that pushes the algorithm to say, hey, this is something interesting, and hopefully it is interesting. I don't know. I've got a buddy who tells me I sound like what's it? It's Deputy Dog. That's what it is. Just very flat. Very, you know. I don't feel like I'm talking flat and boring, but he thinks I do. So, um, hey, I think I actually bring this one in for a nice landing. Yeah, watch this. There it goes. Didn't even fall over. So the battery's on the bottom, so it's a very slim stick that the whole thing is balanced on. And usually I'm not even level whenever I put it down on the ground. Here we go again. I don't think we need to see this. I'm gonna stop the pain.